But two, just let you know.
All right.
Hey everybody, welcome to our Friday roundtable. How's everybody doing tonight, the day after Christmas?
Still full, still full.
Still full, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I hope everybody had a safe and happy Christmas.
We did.
Yeah. It's just the three of us today, ladies.
Okay.
It's a
Mhm.
It's
intimate
K
group.
with the double A. All right.
Mhm.
Ka.
Mhm.
Or ack.
Or
I don't know.
or AKA.
Also
AKA.
known as the three.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Triplets. Just call us triplets.
All right.
So, gosh, I hate to jump right back into the news after such a wonderful holiday, but it's important.
And
It's
it
really
keeps
important.
coming. It keeps happening. And
I know. Tried to take a little bit of a break from it, but one of the theme today is I call normalize. What did I call it? Normalize the unthinkable, right? Because that's what's happening. They're trying to normalize all of this crazy batshit nuts, all this stuff that they're doing. Hey, oh, I'm going, oh, hey, Andrea, you're in the chat. Woohoo!
Mhm.
Oh, a little too many mimosas yesterday. No, actually,
That's
I was a
okay.
good girl. I was a good girl. So, there's been a lot in the news this last week, and we just wanted to touch on a few things and then hopefully end on a high note as we try to do on Fridays. So let's dig into a couple of news stories. We all obviously heard about 60 Minutes. I mean, what the hell? Right?
This is how they operate. Yeah.
What are they doing?
They don't give a rat's ass. They don't care.
Well, they're putting, those people in there who are just sycophants. So let's hear what Rachel
Here's how
has
he
to
put it.
say.
He said, quote, "What's happening to CBS is a terrible embarrassment. And if executives think they can build shareholder value by avoiding journalism that might offend the mad king, they're about to learn a tough lesson. This is still America, and we don't enjoy bullpucky like this." Senator Brian Schatz did not use the word pucky, but he otherwise neatly summed up the fiasco that is unfurling over the loud objections of our respected colleagues and competitors at CBS News right now. It was just hours before 60 Minutes was going to air an in-depth piece on the alleged abuse and torture suffered by men who Trump sent to a brutal prison in El Salvador, when CBS News' newly installed editor-in-chief spiked the story and wouldn't let it run. This newly hired conservative blogger, commentator turned news executive said she was holding the story for a later date because she believed it was not ready. The journalist who produced the segment, in a note to her colleagues that was published by the New York Times, called the decision to pull the story, quote, political. You'll recall it was only a few months ago that CBS and its parent company were bought by the family of one of Trump's billionaire supporters. And as part of the Trump administration's approval of that deal, CBS's new owners promised to install a Trump-friendly conservative minder to keep an eye on the CBS newsroom. They also installed this new editor-in-chief, who is now being accused by the journalists she oversees of politically interfering in their work. The reason this is causing a revolt is because this is how, bit by bit, the free press, the independent American news organizations that give us a free press, instead become state TV. And that is a matter not just for the billionaires who are playing with these things for their own benefit and the executives who have decided to enable them. It's also a matter of public interest. It's a matter of national interest. Earlier this month, Congressman Jamie Raskin wrote to CBS News and asked them to account for edits that appeared to have been made to a 60 Minutes interview at President Trump's request. He said, quote, "It's one thing for CBS to make independent editorial decisions protected by the First Amendment. It's quite another to make edits at the president's demand out of fear of retribution. The American people deserve to know whether their news is shaped by journalistic judgment or by Donald Trump. The American people deserve to know."
The American people deserve better than this bullshit.
Well, it's funny to me, a person that is so cruel and says anything to everybody, that he's so sensitive.
No kidding, right?
I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know. All kinds of names. I can't even think of all the names he's called people.
I never in my life thought this is where we would be. That our institute, CBS, the pillar.
NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN.
I never thought they would do something like this. And it's following that Orban playbook that we talk about every now and then, right? This is exactly what Orban did in Hungary.
And he told him how to do it and do it as fast as you can.
The woman's not qualified to do that job. Where have we seen that pattern before?
His first administration.
Yeah, I mean, and they have the gall to say that, DEI is somehow, bringing
Unable to
unqualified
perform.
people.
Yeah.
Just, because we're trying to find equity and bringing people in who have the ability to do these jobs, but they're not given to, straight white men.
I'm kind of glad that you touched on it. I'm tired of this premise that they keep indicating that we do not have qualified Americans here to do the job. I think that's a crock of crap, and that American people are very much qualified. They keep saying that they have to go to India, they have to go to Europe, they have to go across the world in order to get talent, which is a crock of mess, because when they come in, who do you think trained them?
Yeah.
Where do you think they get their training from? They don't jump into a job and just run with it. We have to bring them up to speed so they can understand. Plus, they have to learn the language. They have to learn the etiquette of the various jobs. So
Right.
I'm just really annoyed in hearing that they're not qualified. You're not giving individuals in America the chance to prove themselves.
It's just hypocritical again. They're putting people in these jobs who have no business in these jobs, have no qualifications to be in these jobs, have no experience. As someone who worked their ass off to climb the corporate ladder, who had to fight against the white male, the boys club, and in an industry that was dominated by men, and like women always have to work harder to get anywhere. And I know, Andre, you talked a lot about it in August, that Black women even have to work harder to get to where they are. And yet we see this, just people being put in places because they have some kind of loyalty to a cult leader. It's disheartening at the minimum and makes me angry.
Well, they continue to steal money because they made all the money on the backs of slaves and other people that were already in this country. And now they're still figuring out how to grift and keep money, because their goal is Project 2025. The goal is to keep the money in white hands. They just don't want to share any of the money.
Well, we just want to wish everybody a happy Boxing Day and welcome to the channel. Hey, Jazzy, our roving reporter is out there. And yes, Jazzy, yes, it is crazy.
Hi,
Absolutely
hi,
ludicrous.
Jazzy. Just wanted to say hello. Hope you had a great Christmas.
On Don Lemon, he was saying that it was Boxing Day, and he said he didn't know what it was in reference to. And I don't either.
Okay, in London, it came from over in London. What happened was is that they used to remember all the gifts would come in boxes and so
Hmm.
that day, the next day, what you have to do something with those boxes, correct? So they used to take all those boxes, pack them up, and some of the children didn't like their gifts. They would take it out to churches and they can exchange those gifts and everything like that. So they called it Boxing Day, from what I remember.
Yeah, thank
Yeah, I
you.
had never
Learned
heard
one of
of it.
those. I thought it might be, Boxing Day.
I did
Yeah,
too.
everybody think it's fighting day. No.
Oh,
Hmm.
Boxing Day, really? After Christmas? Is this, because the family had a little bit of some drama?
Well,
I
they
don't know.
boxed on Christmas Day.
Yeah, we got a lot of those boxes. They're in the garage. We have to figure out what to do with them. So yeah, so going back to these unqualified people, obviously the most unqualified person is the one in the Oval Office. Just want to make sure that we clarify that.
Well, everybody in his cabinet is unqualified. He doesn't have
Right.
any qualified people working in him for him. He said he'd only wanted the best and the brightest, and he got the dumb and the slowest.
Oh my God. But he got the
And that was by
the loyalist.
choice because they have past histories that he can just pull their strings and they'll do anything for him.
Well, hopefully what we've been seeing is some cracks in the MAGA
They
movement.
said
So hopefully.
if you're the smartest person in the room, they say if you're friends and you're the smartest person in the room, they said you need to change friends
That's
because you're not
true.
learning nothing.
That's
Because
true.
normally, I learn from people who I associate with.
That I love that. That's absolutely true. Let's play one more little segment on this topic and then we'll go from there.
A pulled 60 Minutes segment about migrants deported to a notorious Salvadorian prison under the Trump administration is now spreading online. The episode leaked after mistakenly appearing on a Canadian TV network streaming app. The 13-minute segment featured prisoners describing the torture and physical and sexual abuse they claim takes place inside that maximum security prison known as CCOT. 60 Minutes staff members, including the correspondent behind the piece, have criticized the network's editor-in-chief, Barry Weiss, for pulling the segment, with some alleging that the decision was made for political reasons. Joining us now, White House correspondent April Ryan, who is also the Washington bureau chief for Black Press USA and host of The Tea with April on Substack. Also joining us, Brendan Buck, former press secretary to former House Speaker John Boehner and an MS Now political analyst. Welcome into both of you. April, take us inside the impact something like this could have on a newsroom, making the controversial decision to cancel a segment at the last minute.
So the question is it the newsroom or the person in charge of the newsroom that's making this decision? As journalists, we are supposed to go in to do a story without fear or favor. Barry Weiss chose to not run this powerful, impacting segment. And she said she wanted to be neutral. But that segment offered so much. It offered the fact that there's torture from the very beginning of the moment that these migrants are deported to that CCOT prison that houses 40,000 people. The United Nations has criticized that facility, as well as the fact that only 3% of those migrants that were deported are criminals. Without fear or favor, Barry White says she wants to be neutral in this, make a neutral story. This is what journalism is about. This piece was amazing, and it was backed with facts, stats that came from Homeland Security, etc. So I don't understand Barry Weiss's journalism decision, or journalistic decision, if you will, but I do know that this piece is a piece of journalism history and journalism nuances that we need to hear.
And also, April, White House advisor Stephen Miller is demanding that there be consequences for the CBS staffer who criticized Weiss. Listen to this.
You have these 60-minute producers who are living in comfort and security in their West End condos, trying to make us feel sympathetic for these monsters. Under President Trump, we're not going to let little girls get raped and murdered anymore. And every one of those producers at 60 Minutes engaged in this revolt, fire them. Clean house, fire them. That's what I say, Charlie.
All right, what do comments like this say about the fear and concerns that news organizations might have when it comes to covering this administration?
This kind of mentality,
Epstein.
this retaliatory behavior, this Trumpism when it comes to journalism, we already saw it. You know, threats and actual lawsuits of millions of dollars. This intimidation does not work in the face of the founding fathers, the free press, First Amendment. Hello, Stephen Miller. Hello, Donald Trump. Hello, the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. This is a journalism 101 masterclass, if you will, for people who don't understand. This piece even went to what he said. Stephen Miller was talking about, you know, these people are criminals, etc. Only 3%. According to your Homeland Security numbers. So Stephen Miller has to figure out, are we journalists, or are we supposed to be sycophants like him with the president? Just lay the ground rules out, because the bottom line is this is a well-sourced journalistic piece that he is upset about, because it does not make this administration look good when it comes to the issue of migrants, and especially not just here in America, but at the UN and around the world.
Yes. Yes. Interesting. A lot of nuggets in that little piece. And Stephen Miller's a liar.
You can only be in that position if you lie and keep his Trump secrets buried. And why would he use the term rapist? He know what he's hiding.
They go there. They go right that they had the, first of all, none of these people that they sent to CCOT had any due process. They were nabbed, they were put on a plane, and they were sent. I remember, wasn't it the Venezuelan, the young gay hairdresser?
Correct.
That was sent over there? Could you imagine the hell that young man went through?
Well, we can't even interview him because they have sent him now back to his home country. And I think they tried to interview him, but nevertheless, we really didn't get the true story because, once again, they had censorship on it.
Yeah. And they're using fear again, right? They jump right to these people are rapists. I mean, he's been doing that since he walked down, meaning Trump, since he walked down the escalator in 2015.
And allegedly, who's the real rapist? Now we finding out.
Yeah, I think we will
At
find
his
out.
first administration, he said he didn't know what he was doing, but now he know what he's doing. He said, and he's gonna get in there and he's gonna start on day one. He actually started doing this stuff before his inauguration.
Oh yeah, they spent 4 years planning this whole thing.
Is it really 4 or ever since his first campaign?
His first.
So it's like 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think they kicked it up a notch. They've been planning 2025 for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I mean, being that for a long time. I may be exaggerating, but I think when
50 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they lost the election, they tried, right, to overturn it. They tried. When that failed, I know they went to work right away to plan this whole thing. So, and the thing is, people, we have to realize he can't do this by himself.
No,
He a lot of help.
absolutely.
And
Please, if
that's
you're on, we just want you to quickly hit the like and subscribe. We have 14 members watching. Thank you for tuning in on this Boxing Day Friday. Go ahead, Kim.
absolutely. Thank you, everybody. We do appreciate your participation and your support. This so the normalizing of all this is what's extremely disheartening to me. And I continue to hear things like people calling it the Gulf of America,
Mm,
people referring to the Department of the Defense, the Department of War, people, and not just people in the media, people just talking about it. And I was like, why are we normalizing it? Why? Why? I won't even call it a regime because I don't want to normalize it. What do you guys think about that, or ladies?
I think we need to call those individuals out. No, it is not. And sometimes you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And we know what it is. It is not the Gulf of America. It's the Gulf of Mexico. We know that, and we need to start calling it out. No, your name should not be on the Kennedy Center. Someone died. His life was sacrificed in order for him to get that building. Unless you're willing to go there, everybody want to go to heaven, but no one wants to die to get there. So unless you're ready to go, then your name need to be removed.
Well, and who wasn't? There was a concert that was canceled because he did that.
At the Kennedy Center. Absolutely. They
Yeah,
canceled it. And I think they did the right thing because they're not trying to normalize it. We have to stand for something or we will fall for this BS.
absolutely. Back to the CCOT. Did either one of you watch the
Yes,
segment?
I finally did.
Yeah, it was leaked the very same day that they said it wouldn't come out. So that was funnier.
Canada, thank you,
Uh-huh.
Canada.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
saw it
Canada.
that same day. I mean, it was less than 30 minutes after they said it. I saw it.
And it was well written, it was well produced. It didn't like just attack any special, it just told the story. And sometimes that's what you need to hear. You need to hear the story. It's not about the left, the right, the middle, the center, the up, the down. It's about these individuals and what they're going through or went through.
100%,
And
August.
some people
100%.
ask, how can I watch independent media as soon as I wake up? I said, well, it's the only place that's telling the truth. And I don't even know really if they have access to all the truth.
People, this is my experience firsthand. People who only watch Fox are not getting the truth. And I think just from my studies, I believe it's somewhere around 70% of what Fox airs is deceptive in some way. And then what happens is that algorithm, right? We all know the algorithm. If you're watching a lot of the right wing type stories, I hesitate to call it news stories because a lot of it is, like I said, deceptive. That's all you see. That's all you get. You get all that reinforcement. So when people start repeating sound bites to me, I know exactly, based on the sound bite, I know exactly who they're watching. And at that point, I think it's also important that we encourage people, please, please, please diversify your information sources. Or for heaven's sakes, please do some research.
Exactly.
Fact check it,
But
right?
if they do the research, then they would have to correct the behavior. And people don't want to correct the behavior.
And that's the psychology aspect of it that comes in. People don't want to face anything that goes against their current beliefs. It's very difficult psychologically. Right?
I mean, it's okay to believe it, but when you're applying it, that makes a totally different. It makes. Let me be careful when I say that.
It's not even okay to believe it because
But
it,
but you
it does
can't tell them that
require
they
your
can't
act.
believe it. That's all I'm saying. And that's why I had to correct what I was saying.
Mhm.
You can't tell someone you can't believe that, because if they believe it, that is from their perspective. And that's what we have to
Mhm.
make sure that we're being very careful of, because I don't want you to tell me I can't believe in God, because I do. And I feel it, I know it, and I stand on it. And that's how they might feel. Everything I am saying, I have to make sure I respect someone else's thought.
That's right.
However, I'm different from the next individual because you can take the time and persuade me. You can show me something different in order for me to look into it, to keyword, fact check it. Another keyword, do my homework about what you're saying. And if I find that what you're saying is good information, is gospel, then I'm going to change the way I think. So that's what I'm trying to bring out.
Yeah. It's called critical thinking for
Absolutely.
yourself. Right. And that's why it was interesting too, because a lot of the research, it's exactly what you're saying. When people have such strong beliefs and they're told, well, that's not true, this is what's true, that after the fact element is very harder for them to get to change that belief because it is so entrenched. What they're finding is the tool or the intervention that we need to combat disinformation is preemptive. We have to get to it before it gets so ingrained into everybody's, psyche. And that's the hard part, because people are making a lot of money off of disinformation.
And that's the challenge. And
Mhm.
please, audience, jump in here. Tell us how you feeling. You're kind of quiet tonight for a Friday night. However, we want to hear back from you because we're talking about critical thinking, and it's out there, like Kim said. Now we need to know what's the best way to combat it. We need to get ahead of this. It is far gone, thanks to Fox News and other channels,
Right.
News
Yeah.
Nation, and I mean, even sometimes CNN, ABC, they fall short as well. So, how can we not be complicit, but battle this? Get the real story out. Yes, independent news, but even independent information that coming out, you have to check it, because just the other day they gave us false news. It's because we're much wiser. We could tell, nah, that is not true. So talk back to us.
That
Yeah.
30% doesn't want to know the truth right now. I mean, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. That's 100%
True.
right, Andrea, unfortunately. But hopefully, what we try to do here is shed light on the truth. What is the truth? What's the, what is the research we've done here? Because we do try to fact check everything. And when you hear stories like what Andrea brought us today, it's disheartening, right? Andrea, you're going to talk to us about what's going on with ICE
Yeah,
and
and
people
I
who've
mean,
lost. Yeah,
I can't keep going on and people not know what's going on. And again, I want to say we are not journalists. This is us learning and finding out the truth on our own, and we want to pass it on to you.
100%, Delia. But there's sometimes you can just do, even if it's just doing a quick chat GPT. People have access to that for free. Just going on there and saying, hey, I heard this, I read this, is it true? And by the way, where are the sources? Always look for the sources. Where is that source material coming from? Is it credible? Is it corroborated by other reputable sources? Yeah, it's difficult to stay on top 24-hour news cycle and checking. I agree. We have
And
a
I,
hard time.
I can't listen to it 24 hours either because then I get real sad. And
Yeah.
so at night, I like to watch stupid TV, you know. So I still
We need
love
some.
I Love Lucy and Green
Oh my
Acres. And,
God.
I mean, I'm dating myself because I'm dated.
But I must say, we have the smartest audience participation. They do their
Mhm.
homework. And
Mhm.
I know you guys are on top of it. So, because guess what? You're checking in here with us. Please hit the like and subscribe. Over to you,
Thank-
Andrea.
Andrea, take it away.
Okay, if you could put it up so I can read it, please.
All righty.
'Cause, and unfortunately, ICE kills 30 in custody. 4 people died in ICE custody this week, and this actually came out a couple of weeks ago. Well, it says it's dated December 21st, or last week, proving the cruelty isn't the arrest itself, it's the neglect, indifference, and silence that follows once doors lock. And this is someone speaking. This is me reading it. It's not myself that this happened to. It says, I've been out of federal custody for a while now, but the memories don't fade. They linger. They itch. They wake you up at night like a phantom pain from a limb you didn't know the government could amputate.
Mm.
Since my release from FCI, Otisville, I've been very clear, borderline annoying. If you ask my former captors about what it means to be human, warehoused by the United States government, 51 days in solitary confinement, 3 days without food, a sink and a toilet that didn't work, which is a polite way of saying I've lived with my own waste, a broken window that let rain soak my bed like I was camping, minus the fun and marshmallows, gnats, no ventilation, temperatures pushing 100 degrees, and this wasn't some secret black site in a failed state. This was a federal facility in the United States of America. And here's the part that matters. I am a US citizen. I was the former personal attorney to the sitting president of the United States. I had a megaphone family, friends, journalists, celebrities, members of Congress, people who noticed when I coughed, sneezed, or didn't get fed. If that's how the system treated someone with visibility, resources, and a last name people recognize, let me ask you something uncomfortable. What do you think happens to people nobody is watching? Now imagine you're in ICE detention. This month alone, 4 people died in immigration detentions over the span of 4 days, December 12th, December 14th, twice, December 15th. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. Or as the ACLU Eunice Show accurately put it, a red hot crisis. When 4 human beings die in a government custody in less than a work week, the problem isn't bad luck, it's bad conditions. The names matter. Gene Wilson Brutus, 41, Haitian, dead 1 day after entering ICE custody in Newark. Nico Stamf, I might not be able to say the names right. Gatchev, 56, Bulgarian, died in Michigan. Delvin Francisco Rodriguez, 39, from Nicaragua, died in Mississippi. Fuad Sacred Abdul Kader, 46, and I can't pronounce that city, died in Pennsylvania ICE custody says 2 died of natural causes and 2 from medical complications, which is bureaucratic shorthand for please don't ask follow-up questions. 30 people, 30 have died in ICE custody in 2025 alone, the highest number since 2004. That tally includes 2 people killed in a shooting at a Dallas ICE facility, because apparently even detention centers now need active shooter disclaimers. Nearly 66,000 people are currently detained, a high record, while the Trump administration is asking Congress for $45 billion to expand immigration detention, more beds, more bodies, more risk, more death. At the same time, oversight has been quietly strangled. Watchdog agencies closed and half reopened after public backlash. Lawyers and advocates say conditions are deteriorating. Unchecked, ICE, meanwhile, insists deaths are less than 1%. Statistics offered without methodology or shame. Detention, they remind us, isn't supposed to be punitive. Funny, because the people inside keep dying like it is. Several of these deaths occurred within days of people being taken into custody, raising serious concerns about trauma, medical neglect, and the shock of arrest itself. If you've never experienced a moment when the states decide it owns your body, let me assure you, it's not calming. It's violent, even without bruises. Members of Congress like Pramila uh, J. LaPaul and Patty Murray are called for oversight and accountability, describing the deaths as appalling and unacceptable. Lawsuits allege overcrowding, lack of beds, inadequate food, non-existent medical care. ICE officials respond with press releases and confidence bordering on satire, claiming they maintain higher standards of care than most prisons than that hold U.S. citizens. Let me translate that for you. Don't believe your lying eyes. Here's the truth they don't want you to say out loud. Immigration detention has become a business model built on volume, speed, and indifference. People are processed, parked, and ignored until something goes catastrophically wrong. Then it's labeled unavoidable, natural, complicated. I survived my time in custody only because people were watching. ICE detainees don't get that luxury. No book deals, no TV hits, no army of reporters asking why the sink doesn't work or why the medication didn't arrive. If this is how America treats the most vulnerable people in its care, then the problem isn't immigration, it's us. Because silence isn't neutral, it's permission. And and history has never been kind to societies that confuse detention with justice and cruelty without control.
Oh,
It's terrible. It's terrible how we treat people. It's terrible how they're treating foreign. And what's so funny to me is that they're the ones that are that have come over here and weren't welcomed over here. They're the immigrants. We're not the. We was brought over here no choice at all. I didn't want to come over here. I was brought because they wanted to sell my grandfathers and my great grandfathers and they wanted to rape my great grandmothers and my great great grandmothers. They wanted to just hang us and call it a fruit tree, the low fruit hanging. I'm like, it's time for this to stop, and we need people to help fight this. And that's what made me get involved, because Rosa Parks didn't sit down for no reason. She was actually just tired. She wasn't trying to start a movement. She said she was just tired and wanted to sit down. Thank you for listening.
oh my
Well, like
God.
Jazzy said, it's about what we allow. and also
Yeah.
what we ignore, which is the same as allowing something. I hear you, Jazzy. I hear you loud and clear.
Something else is getting normalized. People are dying in these detention centers, and it's like mass shootings. Oh, there goes another one.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
I don't
we want,
God,
and
who does need
people
to
that
come?
once they don't stop. Oh, I can't even imagine. We didn't have gun shootings when I was in school.
No.
And we didn't have gun detectors either to see if you was coming in with a gun. We didn't have the gun detectors at games or at concerts. We didn't have, we could actually go to the movies, go to the drive-in theaters and just go get some popcorn and just laugh and watch the movies.
Yeah.
And
You're
even
right,
when
Jazz.
they had gangs back in the days, it was sticks, knives. Knives was the most prominent tool or weapon, and it was chains. I mean, that's about it. If you got stabbed or cut, you can somewhat survive and get stitched up.
And now the churches aren't even off limit. The people that call themselves Christians, now they'll go into the churches now and not only shoot them up, but they'll still the offering.
And
I don't
notice
hear
the
about people going to ice cream socials like we used to go to either. We used to have ice cream
uh,
socials.
yeah.
I remember one of my first trips in the sixth grade with the school, and we went to the White House and we went to the where the unmarked soldiers were, where they died. And it was fun. I enjoyed myself. And now I don't want to go outside sometimes, but I still go outside because I'm not scared.
Yeah. Jazzy, you're right. They condition us to be normalized to tragedy. They use religion or safety as a defense to not make changes. It makes zero sense. 100% they use fear. They absolutely lose fear, and they use fear of the other. Fear of the other, which is ironic because the people we should be fearing are the ones who are doing all this, who are creating
Say
all
that
this.
again, Kim. Say it louder.
They use fear, right, to intimidate us, to scare us, but they are the ones that people need to fear most. They are the ones that are causing all of this. And they are the ones that we should fear.
And
They are
and
not the saviors.
he's doing everything he can to not let those Epstein files come out because he know it's him. He know it's him. He keeps trying to distract us to say, "Oh, it's Bill Clinton. It's Bill Clinton," and then Bill Clinton. It wasn't. Bill Clinton was. It was some fake AI stuff, because they tried to put Michael Jackson in it. They tried to put Diana Ross in with it, and they said we wasn't even together.
I don't know. Again, something else being normalized. Um, I know I was going to talk a little bit about, thank you, Andrea, by the way. That's important information that
Yeah,
people
great
need to hear.
reporting.
And we stopped hearing about what's happening to these kids. What
Hmm. That's why it made me bring up something. I said we can't go through this year at the end of the year and not let them know this is still going on.
Yeah, it's not. Where's the media? The mainstream media on all this? Where the hell are they?
And that's what I meant by I don't think the independent media is getting all the information because they're not really saying as much as we need them to say. It's us that are not even reporters that's saying something going on. These people missing, and like you just said, where are the children? Where are these children are taken away from their parents?
Yeah. 100% Jazzy. You are on it tonight.
Yes, she
One after
is.
another.
Our
Yes,
reporter
ma'am.
is out there dropping
Yeah.
nuggets of
Mhm.
facts.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we can't take our eye off this stuff. I had a couple things I want to show, but we're already we go fast when we talk about these important subjects. It's already 5:15. Before we go to August, what are we at? August on the Move. I want to show you this latest bit. So we know that number 47, and I did a video on this that I'm going to put up here, and people kind of said, "Oh, you're being hyperbolic. You're being a little." I did a short video about Trump putting his name on everything and making monuments across DC in his name, and that's exactly what he's doing. This is the latest. So he's renaming the Institute of Peace the Donald Trump United States Institute of Peace. Everything is going to have this man's freaking name on it.
No, it's not. We're going to
Because
take it off.
that's all he knows how to do is put his name on buildings.
Mhm.
That's it. That's it.
What peace? Come on, let's just call a spade a goddamn spade.
Thank you. Thank you.
What peace? I
Mhm.
could see if he's putting his name on shit that he did wrong, which is Hegseth, which is the Gulf of America. That's that BS. All right. What peace? That's what we
There's
need
no
to call
peace.
out.
As they're building battleships with his freaking name on it. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is our taxpayer money.
Until we get sick and tired and we all join hands, Martin Luther's King, it is still true that all of us, red, yellow, black, and white, are going to have to come out together against this enemy. He's an enemy. That's the enemy of the state. You want to talk about an enemy of the state? He's an enemy of the United States and the rest of the world.
Yep. 100%.
And I had to put that up. Dalalu, you are so correct because yeah, the ICE is not getting, but they want clicks for the Epstein files. We have to be consistent, folks. That's what she's saying. Consistency. Because goddamn it, it could be one of your own family members dying inside of ICE hands. Let's just keep
Absolutely.
it 100. And I would want you to stand up for my family because I'm standing up for yours.
I was shocked
100%.
the Supreme Court told ICE they couldn't go into Chicago for Christmas. I was like, what? I didn't know what happened that day.
I don't know. Somebody read their oath again? Oh, wait, I did take an oath.
Mhm.
Okay, so time is flying by. We're going to go ahead and move to August on the Move. What you got for us, August?
Oh, around the world it was. As I indicated, it's Boxing Day. And I just want to bring up, because we did talk about it, and just so you guys know, with Boxing Day, it is a holiday that is celebrated differently. Back in the days, they used to, as we indicated, try to show, like in Canada and Northern Canada, they observe the holiday by cheering on their home hockey team. That's one way they celebrate Boxing Day. In America, it's not even known. Some people that come from various places will say Happy Boxing Day, but it's not celebrated here. Across the pond in England, they dedicated December 26th to eating all of those Christmas leftovers. But just keep in mind, before each country puts their own unique twist on the holiday, which probably raises a question: what is Boxing Day? The answer to the question, literally, the box refers to gift boxes, not gloves. So keep that in mind. Traditionally, the day was for people to to look to look up gifts for the less fortunate and for employees to give their staff gift boxes. But since then, the holiday has taken on new meaning and traditions unrelated to any box of the sort. So, as we always say here, we try to make sure we educate you on various topics. Also, in the news, I want you to please be aware this is the latest. I bet you didn't know this. Read the title.
is upon us, y'all. And I know it's a day late, but this is the news that we all need delivered from the big man. And some time away from Carolyn Levitt, the worst press secretary in American history and the biggest liar in that White House, not named Donald Trump, will be taking some time off from propagandizing on behalf of the president, backing billionaires, defending pedophiles, what she always does. And it comes at a time in which Donald Trump is seeing chaos plague his White House, people quitting left and right in the MAGA Congress, and his whole movement turning on him. And now the latest blonde MAGA sycophant is out and done with Donald Trump. We are going to get into why Carolyn Levitt is going to be taking some sizable time off. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the big announcement that Carolyn just made about her future, it's going to bring a smile to your face if a frown comes upon it every time you have to hear her lie. But it starts with the ways that Donald Trump is trying to reshape his communications, fix his narrative around Epstein right now, that Lawrence O'Donnell had to break down right here.
Justice Department is and will remain completely corrupted. They therefore have no credibility at all in anything that they say about the Epstein files. And so when Todd Blanche tells you that something is fake in the Epstein files, like a handwritten letter from Jeffrey Epstein to another pedophile in prison, Todd Blanche should not be able to convince anyone that that letter is fake. There are real reasons to believe it is fake, and there are ways of determining it is fake. But Todd Blanche does not have the credibility necessary to make that case. So all of the assessment of what is and isn't fake in the Epstein files will be made outside of the Trump Justice Department, because the Trump Justice Department is completely corrupted and there to do nothing other than try to defend Donald Trump. Todd Blanche lied today in a written statement about the Epstein files, saying that any of the negative information about Donald Trump in the Epstein files, if true, quote, certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. That is a lie. That is Todd Blanche pretending that the Biden Justice Department or the Obama Justice Department were corrupt like the Trump Justice Department. The Epstein files contains a claim by Jeffrey Epstein's brother that he believes, without evidence, that Donald Trump had Jeffrey Epstein killed in prison. The brother offers no evidence of that. There is no evidence of that. And that claim existed in the Epstein files during the Biden presidency. And no one in Merrick Garland's Justice Department ever dreamed of releasing that information. No one weaponized that unfounded claim by Jeffrey Epstein's brother. Since Todd Blanche works in a completely corrupted Justice Department, he knows what he would have done with statements like that about an enemy of Donald Trump's. Marjorie Taylor Greene has seen enough. The Republican member of Congress who built her entire political career on enthusiastic support for Donald Trump, but then lost Donald Trump's support when she demanded the release of the Epstein files, said today, "This is horrifying. Trump called me a traitor for fighting him to release the Epstein files and standing with women who were raped, jailed in stalls, and trafficked to men. Only evil people would hide this and protect those who participated. I pray for these women." Donald Trump tried to hide it. Donald Trump's attorney general tried to hide it. Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer, now his deputy attorney general, tried to hide it. Donald Trump's clownish FBI director tried to hide it. Only evil people would be co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein. Evil people like Ghislaine Maxwell, who Donald Trump wishes well.
Right now, Donald Trump and his White House are taking over the communications of the DOJ. We have never seen a president take this much control of what should be an independent department. There should be no presidential overreach into the DOJ. Not only is Pam Bondi an appendage of Donald Trump, but he's quite literally operating her like a puppet. with Stephen Chung or Carolyn Levitt or Stephen Miller, for that matter, pulling the strings and trying to make sure that the DOJ communicates exactly what Donald Trump wants when it comes to the Epstein files. But
Let's take a break. So from there, it's a lot I hit you with. Let's hear what you have to say.
Love Lawrence O'Donnell.
He just sums it up, right?
Oh man, yeah, he's just to the point. He pulls no punches, and this is the most corrupt administration, most corrupt DOJ, most corrupt SCOTUS, most corrupt all of it, FBI, everything, all of it is the most corrupt. Now, interesting. So he didn't really say why Caroline was leaving.
Here it is.
Okay.
I just paused it. Here it goes.
announced she's expecting a baby girl in May. The 28-year-old and her husband, Nick, welcomed their first child, a boy named Nico, in July 2024. My husband and I are thrilled to grow our family and can't wait to watch our son become a big brother, Levitt told Fox News Digital. My heart is overflowing with gratitude to God for the blessing of motherhood, which I truly believe is the closest thing to heaven on earth. So Carolyn Levitt is pregnant, and that means we at least get some time away from her. She'll have to step aside from her job. Unfortunately, it seems like that means Stephen Miller will be filling in. I don't know if he's going to get like the blonde wig and Botox, but we will get a little time away from Carolyn Levitt. And hopefully that becomes a long time. I don't know if this is an opportunity for her to slowly pivot away from this White House, follow in the, Kayleigh McEnany footsteps and get a job at Fox. But what I'd say to Carolyn Levitt is this: what MAGA preaches all the time, what Charlie Kirk, your best buddy, who you want to build a statue of, would have said to someone like Carolyn Levitt, is you need to leave your job and you need to raise your kids and you need to focus on your family. There is no MAGA conservative that the right uplifts that believes that women should be out in the workforce, especially when they're moms. Erica Kirk certainly doesn't believe so, except in every action she takes in the most hypocritical fashion to abandon her kids as she throws hats into crowds and parades around like a crazy person, staring at you like this for no.
All right. He's on fire. I just only wanted to bring the news about Caroline Levitt. Talk back to me. Let's see what our audience and our roving reporter has to say. Let me see.
So, yeah, interesting. I had not heard that. So
I read it today, and it's just, every time she talked, I got mad.
I can't listen. Yeah, I can't listen to any of them.
Yeah. Especially when the lies are coming out your pores. That's just ridiculous.
Right. She needs to stop those Botox injections.
She defend Trump like he the baby daddy.
Yeah, you got a point there. You really, really have a point. All right. There is so much going on in the news. Also, I just want to let you know, Zelensky was contemplating, giving up peace and really trying to focus on the peace deal, but he now knows better. He's hopefully he's fighting it and gonna step away from it and not let's let him contemplate it some more. So if you're not aware about it, please look it up. You'll see. But today, to close out from August on the Move, I always have a nice human interest story that I want to bring to you guys. Please check this one out. So, this is a 68-year-old. She has been crafting for over, I want to say, 37 years. And she has dedicated this loving craft. And when we say the loving craft, her name is Betty. And this is what she makes. She actually carves these by hand. They're acorns with animals that she carve inside of them in order to show that there is beauty in the forest, in the nature. And you can hang them in your window, you can hang them on your door. It is so adorable. Betty also sells them, so you can see. But what I'm trying to get to is that one person purchased these, right, 10 years ago, and it's on her door for 10 years, her front door, and it hasn't lost its shape, its value. It's amazing. Could you appreciate these carved animals? They look so lifelike. Please select your favorite one and let us know. For us, it's the fox. I just
Fox.
think the
Yes.
fox is adorable, and the owl look very real. And I like that she has them sleeping. You can
Uh,
purchase them, and I'm trying to get down to where you can purchase them. But before that, let me let you know it's 100% handmade. It's real acorn caps. It's loving and crafted details. It's versatile. It's gentle, cozy, and charm. And it's limited edition. She only has 800 left of these. And I want you guys, as you can see, she's actually doing her crafting right here,
so precious.
right?
Oh
When I
my
saw
gosh.
this is just people actually saying their little comments. But I really want to get down to the piece where it is. Look at that fox. How could you not like that?
Yeah.
OMG. That is so
I
nice.
got-
So
That's a
if you
gift. Yeah.
yes, it is. So just to wrap this up, if you're thinking about it and if you want to hear more about it, it is it's called Acorn Dream Forest and Friends, and it's by Shurim Art. All right. So look it up. If you go to Amazon, you may not get Sure Rim art. You might get a duplicate. You might get a fake one. It might be plastic. Please try to go to She Rim Art in order for it. And it is online. And it will no longer be there after December 31st by Betty, but she does have her children. They have their own piece of it. So please look into it. And thank you. And we hope that this touched you and just make you know that there is nature out there and people doing positive things. Back over to you, Kim.
Thank you, August. That's I wonder how long it takes her to do one of those.
They say
That's
a couple of days that she does it in a couple of
wow.
days.
Oh, she's real good. A couple of days.
But think about
Yeah.
it, a couple of days for one little crafted animal.
And
I
it
mean,
lasts 10 years.
That's a
more
lot
than
of
10
carving.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, Jazzy, amazing craftsmanship. I mean, just that's a gift. She just has a
Mhm.
gift. People who can carve and sculpt and do, it's like they see the image and they just carve away to reveal it.
That's
I've heard sculptors say that, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, I'm just in envy of that gift to be able to do that. Yeah, that's quick. Your painting take months. Yeah, paintings can take a long time.
oh,
Sketching, any kind
oh,
of art.
Jazzy got some art we need to see. You need to send us
Yeah,
some
gotta do
pictures.
that. All right, everybody, we're at the hour, and I need to run. I have grandma
We're
duty.
still in the holiday mode.
We are still in holiday mode,
But
and
please remember to check us out on Tuesdays and next week, Wednesday, for New Year's Eve celebration, and also on Friday. Kim will let you know more. Go ahead, Kim.
yep, absolutely. Be here on Tuesday for the big picture. And then Wednesday, we have the ladies coming back to host our New Year special. I will not be here, but then we will all be back on Friday. Hopefully, everybody, if we don't see you, have a safe and wonderful New Year. And I'm going to reiterate safe. Be
No
careful.
drinking and driver,
Yep.
Uber or Lyft.
None. None. Take an
Mhm.
Uber, call a friend, just be safe. But we will see you next week.
Surrender the
We love you.
keys.
Exactly. Exactly. We love you. Thank you so much for participating, for supporting us, and we hope you learned a little bit from us today. We always learn by doing this, by doing the research and by helping each other. So we hope you did too. Love ya. See you guys later.
See you
Have a
later.
good week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
We the people unite.